I'm Dr. Tanya Lowe, and guess what? You're not late. I just spent an hour talking to myself. Have you ever done that? I just spent an hour talking to myself, thinking I was live. Like, am I live? I don't know. So, guess what? Wow. And it was so good. I'm so sorry y'all missed it. But we're going to do this again because the second time's a charm, right? I don't know. So if you don't know who I am, you've been living under a rock. I'm Dr. Tanya Lowe. You know, who am I? Why should you listen to me? I'm a leadership strategist, human-centered AI practitioner, 3-time best-selling author. I bring more than 20 years of experience in human services, in leadership development, training, consulting, and organizational strategy. I've worked with and consulted across many industries, helping leaders strengthen their capacity, their performance, and their teams. I also help them to think strategically about people, systems, and outcomes. And my work has reached leaders on 3 continents, giving me a global view of how leadership, learning, and technology must work together in real world environments. Now, I'm not here to talk AI hype. Okay, I'm not here to sell you AI hype today. I am here to help you use your AI tools better with structure, strategy, ethics, and judgment. That's what I'm here for. That's what this executive forum is about today. So AI gives answers, but humans give judgment. So let's not forget that. So let me see if I can. Ooh, yes, we are live. I think we are live. So if you're watching this, put something in the chat. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're watching this, and even if you're watching the replay, because I believe this is going to work this time. So one of my favorite quotes, and it's something that I heard from one of my coaches: big thinkers meet in small rooms. And typically this executive forum is an invitation only opportunity, but recently we have been going live with it. We've been doing it live. If you go back to if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, if you go, you can watch some of the previous sessions that we've done. We did one in Nashville earlier this year. An organization brought us in to do an executive forum with their team. But what I want you to take away from this is that the most important conversations don't happen in auditoriums. They happen in focus rooms with the right people asking the right questions. So if you are joining me today, then you are in the right room. And I'm going to ask the right questions for you to ponder and think about as we go through this session. So I'm just going to check one thing. Nope, not checking that. Check one thing to make sure we are ready to go. I think we are. So who's this forum for? This forum is for leaders. It's for leaders. It's for managers. It's for VPs. It's for anyone. Okay, yeah, we're good. It's for anyone who wants to learn more about how can I utilize AI better on my team and in my organization. It's for entrepreneurs, right? If you're an entrepreneur, if you are a ministry leader or a nonprofit leader, today is really about having the conversation around capacity and what's available for you within your organization. And I'm going to show you how you can do that with AI agents. So let's talk about what I'm not showing you today. Today, I'm showing you the model, the mindset, but not the machinery. Okay. I'm not talking about data centers and AI is, trying to replace humanity. That's not the conversation we're having today. I did a AI training a couple of weeks ago, and it kind of went left because people had some. I didn't have this slide right here. That's what it was. I didn't have this slide, and so I want, if you're here, we know you're in the right room, right? But I want to set the table because transparency builds trust. You see on the slide what we're not talking about, and you should be seeing on the slide what we are talking about today. We're again mindset, the framework, capacity, how to replicate the model that I'm going to share with you today. So I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with that. I'm so excited to do this again. I am. I'm so excited to do this again. So as I navigate these screens. So here's the thing. I did a training last week. There were 10 leaders in the manufacturing industry. And I can't remember the question, but 6 out of 10, the answer was time. 6 out of 10, the answer was time. So if you're a leader, and you feel like you don't have enough time or you need more time, put time in the chat. Many leaders, you're not short on ideas, you're not short on vision. What you are short on, capacity, structure, follow through, time, and dare I say consistency. Many leaders that I have had the pleasure of working with, they're not consistent. They'll learn something, but they won't stick with it, right? Imagine when you first started driving your car, if you were not consistent in the rules of the road, where would you be now? Right? Where would you be now? So what I want you to understand is that AI is it's more than just a productivity tool. It's a leadership capacity system. As a leader, that's the mindset. So today we're shifting mindsets, right? We're shifting mindsets. We are changing how we think and how we utilize AI. So why does AI matter? Why does it matter? You're probably thinking. And so I got an answer for you. I got an answer, almost an answer for everything. So many of you are probably already using ChatGPT, you're using Copilot, you're using Claude, you're using other AI tools. For the sake of today's conversation, you're going to hear me reference ChatGPT. Fill in the blank with what you're using. I know a lot of companies have okayed people to use Copilot, Gemini. So just fill in the blank. You're going to hear me say ChatGPT, but you're going to hear Copilot in whatever your organization says. Okay. Those are the models. A model can answer a question. It can draft a response. It can summarize content. I know many people say, "Oh, I use AI now to write all my emails." Oh, okay, that's cool. It's underutilized, right? You're underutilizing it, but I'm glad you're using it. You can use it to ideate, brainstorm, but an agent is different. An agent is different. An agent is a team member, a trained team member. Put trained in the chat. If you're listening, put trained, TRAINED, in the chat. They understand your workflow. They have a specific job. They have a specific role. They have a specific outcome. So instead of starting over every time, pretend you're a trainer, pretend you're a logistics person, pretend you're a CEO, you are blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that all the time, right? Agents know your purpose. They know the audience. They know the structure. It knows the kind of output you need. It asks you better questions to make sure that it can deliver what you're looking for, and it can create the work that you want based on the role that it does. And you will see examples of that in this presentation. So the shift is ChatGPT can answer a question, but an AI agent can support a role. Write that down. Write it down. An AI agent can support a role. So I want that to stick in your head because I want you to be thinking about, well, what role do I want my agent to support? For leaders, this matters because we don't just need more content. We really don't even need another tool, right? I think many organizations that I go into, they they want all of the tools. You know, I need this tool. I need this. I heard this person was using this tool in this conference, or I heard this speaker is using this tool in this conference. Unless you are creating super agents, unless you are training this type of content, you find the tools that work best for you. And you'll hear me talk about that a little bit more. But you don't need all of that. As a leader, you don't need all of that. What we need, and I'm including myself in that, we need more capacity, we need more consistency, and better follow through. Better follow through. So the agent does not replace the humans on your team. As a matter of fact, they work with them. As we talk about ethical AI, we're not trying to move humans out, although we're hearing the news that AI is replacing jobs in a lot of companies, and that's just the reality of what's happening. But that's not this conversation. This conversation is, how can I work with the tool as a team member? How can I add them? How can I minimize? How can I get back more time? How can I get back more time? So the agent doesn't replace humans. The human still owns judgment, ethics, relationships, and final decisions. Final decisions are you. They are all you. But let me tell you what the agent does do. The agent reduces the repetitive work. What type of work are you doing in your organization that is repetitive? The same questions that you are answering, that is repetitive. You can utilize AI agents for that. So here's the thing. The question is no longer just, can AI help me with this? The better question is, what part of my leadership work, or what part of my work as a leader or business owner, you fill in your title, could be supported by a trained agent. Trained agent. And you'll see how we utilize trained agents today. What I want you to know is this is not a new toy. It's not a new tech toy. It's a system, right? Instead of asking the question, how can AI write this for me? Can AI create this for me? Of course it can. The better question is, how can AI help me lead, decide, design, and deliver better? I'm going to say that again. How can AI help me lead, decide, design, and deliver better? As a leader, a CEO, a manager, a VP, that is the question that you want to be thinking about when you're utilizing AI. I talk to so many people, and they're using it like Google, and that is not effective use of the tool, right? It's really not. If you want to get the best, I think if you're going to utilize a tool, that you should get the absolute best out of that tool. So you'll see here, again, a kind of a reminder of what I call out of the box ChatGPT, right? Because you're using it anyway. You're going in, type in, do blah, blah, blah. But then when you have a trained AI agent, it understands every component of its task. Okay. So we've built agents for travel agents, right, to help them create the final output. Like once they've done all the research and now they've got all the data. It's like, okay, so now what do I do with it? I can send it to you in an Excel spreadsheet, or I can make this beautiful graphic with all of the information on it that you need to know. That's going to really get people excited about going on this trip. The training that we just conducted with the manufacturing company, we built an agent. We've got to go back and build the agent in Copilot because they use Copilot. But we built an agent to support what they learned in training, right? So they're not trainers, but they have to train different parts within their organization. And so the agent that we built for them will help them to use the model that we design and we train them on, so they don't forget it, right? Because many times people go to training and they don't use it, right? So this model, the agent that we design will help support their training needs. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing that with a lot of our trainees. And then, of course, the agents that we built right here in the researching group. We have an entire team of agents who I'm so excited to show to you today, who work with me, who work exclusively with me, but they can work with you too. So, the mindset shift is a role-based support partner. You see it on the screen. That's what you want. That's the difference between using whatever tool you're currently using to using a role-based support partner. I don't think I said this when I was talking to myself earlier, but it is again trained on all things you, your project, your organization, and your business. So ChatGPT can answer a question, it can give you an output, but an AI agent supports a role. So I want you to think about, what role do I want? I want my agent to support. So I want you to meet my team. This is my team, the people that I have on my team. And you'll see I've got, you'll see all the people that I have here. If I had a big budget, this is what my team would look like. Probably a few more people, right? So as I create more agents for my clients and for different people, and I think about the agents that they're putting, I'm like, oh, I need that agent. I need a bookkeeping agent. I need, so these are the agents that I have within my company. And you see they have names, they have personalities, they have degrees, they have all the things in order to support me and what I need them to do. You'll see in the top, my right, maybe your left corner, where it says the COO. That is, I don't know if it has her name there, but that's Sasha. And so Sasha is going to be a super agent. So Sasha will be able to send emails and do a lot of the things behind the scenes. So we're still working on Sasha to make sure security wise, which is one of the things when you build super agents that you have to think about. So there are different types of agents that you can have in your organization. You can have a task agent, TASK agent. Many of you can do that probably right now. Send me a reminder every day about XYZ. I need a follow-up call on these emails that I sent, right? Like you could do that right now. You don't need training to do that. And then there are these role-based partner-based agents within your business that you can create that does require a little more design. And then you can have super agents who actually do the work. They make the phone calls for you. We've all interacted with them, right? They make the phone calls for you. They follow up, they check your email, they do all of the things that you designed them to do. So we're not talking about super agents today, but super agents are coming up. And when we're done building and creating Sasha, we'll bring her back and show her to you as well. So this is how my agents work separately, right? So beyond, they're going to all introduce themselves to you and tell you what they do. But separate roles create clarity. I don't have, so in an organization, when you hire people, you might say, okay, well, you're going to answer the phone, but you're also going to do invoices, and you're also going to train the new hires, and you're also going to do XYZ, right? Because many of us have small budgets, or we may not have budgets at all, or we may be on a hiring freeze or whatever. And so you've got Mandy, who's doing 4 different jobs, but her job is really supposed to be answering the phone. Well, guess what? You don't have to do that when you have a trained agent. Everyone can have a separate job, and that separate job creates clarity for the agent and for you. And each agent operates in a defined role. Sometimes I work with them all together, and I'll say, hey, I need the team. I need everyone on the team to show up for me. And we will talk through things because I want to get everyone's input. But when they operate individually, it prevents overlap, reducing confusion, ensuring the right expert is handling the right task. And I have been just, playing around with them. They may say, I think we need to bring this person in, because they know who's on the team, right? So if I'm talking to a Grantley about a grant, and you'll meet Grantley. A Grantley may say, hey, we need to bring Zuri into the conversation. And then I'll say, Zuri, can you join us for a meeting? And Zuri will pop in. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of fun. But the goal is they work independent, they work separately, but then they also work as a team, and you'll get to see that. So here's the thing. These are human responsibilities that cannot be delegated, and you see them on the screen. Vision, ethics, discernment, final decisions, relationships, relationship building, context, quality control belongs to you. You cannot delegate that. That is where ethical AI comes in, right? And as a leader, you would think you don't have to say that out loud. You don't have to tell people that. If you don't say it, they won't know it. So humans still lead. AI gives answers. Humans provide judgment, clarity, discernment, quality. Is this really what we want? Is this really the direction we want to go in? Sometimes you got to give your agents a little push back. And I do that. I will do that. No, I don't think I want to do that. Even though they're trained on all things Dr. Tanya Lowe, the Resurgent Group, our nonprofit arm of the business, most of the time, and I'm going to say 90% of the time, they're going to bring me back things that I would create or design, but it's that 10% that I'm like, no, I don't think that's going to work. And so, then we talk. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't change my slide. Y'all aren't looking at the slide I'm looking at. I'm sorry. Because I got 2 screens going on here. So I'm running the background today. I'm running the front ground and the background. So yes, your agents, you can't allow them to be rogue. You can't let them have the final say. You have the final say. But here's the thing, everything, they're only as good as they are trained. They are only as good as they are trained. Okay. So are you ready to meet the team? Like, are you really ready to meet the team? I'm trying to think if there's something I want to show you. Yes. So if you're really ready to meet the team, I want you, my avatar is going to introduce them to you. And here she is.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tanya's AI clone. Dr. Tanya is always moving, building, teaching, consulting, and creating. So she brought in backup. Smart backup. I want to invite you to meet our team of AI agents and see all the ways they support Dr. Tanya Lowe's work behind the scenes. From strategy and scheduling to funding research, content creation, client support, travel planning, training design, and productivity, these agents help keep the mission moving. And here's the exciting part. This is not just for Dr. Tanya. At the end, I'll come back and show you how you can create your own AI clone or build a team of agents that helps you save time, increase productivity, and show up with an award-winning support team just like Dr. Tanya Lowe. So stay with us. You're about to meet the team.
Hello, my name is Bianca Moore. Though some of you may know me as Phoebe, I have the unique honor of being the only human member of Dr. Tanya's extended support team. But listen, everybody else had an avatar, so I wanted one too. I've worked with Dr. Tanya for more than 10 years, serving as her executive operations coordinator. If you have ever received an email, calendar invite, follow-up, or gentle reminder from our office, there is a good chance it came from me. My role is to help keep the business moving behind the scenes. I support executive operations, scheduling, project tracking, follow-ups, internal coordination, task management, and all the little details that help big ideas become real action.
My name is Marielle Vance, Media and Communications Director. I am Dr. Tanya's personal Olivia Pope. I handle media strategy, public relations, brand communications, press opportunities, social messaging, speaking visibility, and storytelling around her work and impact.
Hello, I'm Grantley Mercer, MBA. I serve in the role of Executive Funding Strategist / Strategic Partnership Advisor. I support grant strategy, funding opportunities, sponsorships, partnership development, proposal positioning, and identifying revenue-aligned opportunities.
My name is Franny Major JD. My role at TRGMA is Feedback Coach Pro Senior Editorial and Quality Advisor. I review, edit, sharpen, and strengthen written content, proposals, emails, scripts, executive messaging, quality control, and strategic communication.
Heyo, I'm Avery Brooks, MED CPTD. I serve in the role of Senior Learning Experience Architect. I design training programs, learning experiences, workshops, leadership development sessions, course outlines, curriculum structure, and adult learning strategies with Dr. Tanya and my team.
I'm Maya Richardson, Ed D. I'm the Senior Educational Transformation Consultant. I work with Avery and Zuri. I support education strategy, K-12/higher education initiatives, youth learning frameworks, instructional transformation, school/district programming, and learning impact design.
Hello, I'm Zuri Ellis, MS Learning Innovation Specialist and the resident Gen Zer. I support innovation inside Strategic Brilliance Lab, Youth Edition concepts, gamification, learner engagement, AI-supported learning tools, badges, dashboards, and future-facing learning experiences. I work closely with Avery and Dr. Maya.
Hello, I'm Dora, Lifestyle Engagement and Travel Intelligence Strategist, and I am the only one on the team who has her own GPT. I support all of Dr. Tanya's shenanigans. My responsibilities include travel planning, event research, experience design, itinerary building, logistics, local discovery, lifestyle planning, and making sure your adventures still have a strategy. Wasn't that exciting to see? I mean, imagine having a full team of AI agents ready and waiting to serve you, anytime, day or night. Each and every team member you met today has an impressive background, a clear role, and a specific area of expertise. And even better, they are trained in all things Dr. Tanya Lowe. They understand her work, her voice, her mission, her clients, her programs, her systems, and the kind of excellence she expects. So they are not just random AI tools floating around in the cloud somewhere. They are part of a trained support system. Now, you're probably thinking, I already have ChatGPT. Or maybe I already use Claude. So why would I need an AI agent? Great question. ChatGPT and Claude are powerful tools, but most of the time they wait for you to tell them what to do. An AI agent is different. An agent is built around a specific role, task, workflow, or outcome. Instead of starting from scratch every time, your agent already understands its job. It can help with repeatable tasks like follow-up, content creation, research, client support, planning, scheduling, training, proposals, operations, and more. Think of ChatGPT like a brilliant general assistant, but an AI agent is like a trained team member. One agent can help you think through strategy, another can create content, another can research opportunities, another can organize your next steps, another can support your clients, another can help you stay focused on the work only you can do. That means you are not just using AI, you are building capacity. And if you're an entrepreneur, that matters because most entrepreneurs are trying to do the work of an entire team by themselves. You are the visionary, the strategist, the salesperson, the content creator, the follow-up person, the operations manager, and the customer service department. Whew, that is a lot of hats for one head. AI agents help solve the Lone Ranger problem. They give you structure, support, speed, consistency, and extra capacity without waiting until you can hire a full staff. So no, this is not about replacing ChatGPT or Claude. This is about turning AI into a system that works for you because your brilliance deserves support. Your business needs systems, and you should not have to build your vision alone. If you're ready to explore your next best step, click the.
So that was exciting, right? That was exciting. I hope it was exciting. I hope it was exciting for you because I'm still amazed that wow, I did that, right? And wow, I have a team. As my avatar was telling you, especially if you're an entrepreneur, it can be a lonely place. You know, you're trying to make sure that you are networking and you're building a community. And I absolutely recommend that you build a live, breathing community of people. But sometimes if you're up at, 2 and 3 in the morning and the ideas are coming, those people aren't going to want you to call them, right? Don't call me. But if you have an agent that can assist you with your vision and your ideas that sometimes come to you in the middle of the night, or if you're a CEO and you want to kind of flush out something, an idea before your meeting, and you pull up your agent can help you do that. If they are, let's go back to the T word, make sure you're listening, trained. They have to be trained. My agents are trained on all things Dr. Tanya and trained on all things the Resurgent Group and trained on all of our clients, as you've heard. So the work that we do. So separately, each agent has a job, but together they create a momentum that is absolutely very powerful. So there's an opportunity, there's a strategy, there's a draft, there's a review, and then there's delivery. And you can see them, you can see that happening right before you, and they give you the output. And then the dialogue, if you will, takes place during what I call the ideation or creation session. How did I know I needed a youth person on my team? Well, strategicbrilliancelab.com. Make sure you all go there and you do the 7-day trial. I created Strategic Brilliance Lab as a way to, it was a 3-day critical thinking course, right? So if you follow any of the research and the data on what's happening in the workplace and the shift in the workplace, critical thinking for the last 6 years has remained at the top of the list, right? And so we created this course, 3-day course, where people can learn about all the different tools and 20 different ways to come up with a decision. And we turned it into a platform, right? Because again, when people leave training, they don't go back and use those tools. And so as Grantley, don't y'all just love Grantley? as Grantley and I were looking at some grant opportunities for the nonprofit leg of our business, there were a lot of things around youth. And so I thought, well, why not just create a youth strategic brilliance lab, because we already have it in place. It'd be great. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to create one, right? And get funding for it and use it and do all these things. It would probably cost me thousands of dollars to hire an expert, have someone build it out. So when you look at Strategic Brilliance Lab, I built that. I built that with my AI knowledge, right? And so that's a whole nother workshop for leaders. But these are the things that are available to you when you know what to do and how to do it. Again, I want to reiterate, if I haven't said this yet, you don't need every tool. You just need the tools that will work for you. That's it. You just need the tools that will work for you. So on this slide, you see, kind of how each agent contributes to the process. They already told you that in their introductions. So here's the question that every leader should be, or the questions that every leader should consider before they have us come in and build your agents for you. Y'all like how I did that? All right. So before you build agents or you deploy agents, you need to do an honest assessment regarding these 5 questions and some of the other questions that I've asked you already. What work drains your capacity? Don't just say it's time. Oh, I don't have time. Why don't you have time? Why don't you have time? What's eating up your time, right? So go through that process with yourself or with me. What work drains your time? What work repeats often? What are those repeatable tasks? What are the reoccurring tasks that an AI agent could take care of for you? What requires your voice but not your hands? Now, I wish I could say I was an early adopter to AI, and I think I still fall in the early adopter range for AI. But when someone first brought it to me, hey, do you know about this? I was like, all the things that we say, right? When we don't feel like we need this new thing or another thing, right? I know many companies I've gone into, I don't need another thing. I promise you, this thing you do need. You don't need to know how to do it at the extent that I do, but you need to understand it. And so, as a entrepreneur, CEO, Lone Ranger, I felt like my voice and my hands had to touch everything. And so, as you start working with agents, you're going to think about, okay, this requires my voice, but it does not require my hands. So I think I mentioned earlier about the task agents. So if we're sending out information to potential clients and we want to follow up within, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 90 days system, I don't have to keep like going back. Okay, who did I send to? Who do I need to follow up on? Of course, that's what your CRMs are for. But how many of you have CRMs, but you don't really use them? And I'm talking to the entrepreneurs now. Or your spreadsheets, right? So I can have my agent say, hey, it's time to follow up with Acme Company, and here's the 7-day email. Okay, here's the 14-day email. So all I got to do is cut and paste and put it in there and keep going about my business. It solves the problem of not following up. It solves the problem of a reoccurring task. It saves me time because I don't have to go back and look to see who I need to follow up with. It saves me money because the agent keeps up with who I've talked to. So slowly but surely, we're probably going to release the CRMs that we're using. And so what requires your voice, but not your hands? Content that sounds like you, but doesn't have to be written by you every single time. And I will tell you that I still will draft it out. And that's just me. I will still draft it out. I will still kind of sometimes write it out to the point where it's like, well, you could just write it out yourself. But you've already written it, but when I write out my version and I drop it in, and one of the agents will smooth it over, it sounds so much better. But it's still my words, right? It's still my words, my thought, right? What must never be fully delegated? This is ethical AI. Really answering that question. What should you never delegate? Decisions, relationships, value-based calls. These things stay with you always, right? Make a list. And then where do you need more consistency? I did some strategic planning for a company, and I've talked about this before, a nonprofit last year. The process lasted way longer than it should have. And part of it was a built-in system to make sure that they're consistent to get the outcomes that they want. And so sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not, but an agent could definitely help them with that process. And I'll say, from working with them and how it was such a challenge, they inspired me to create my first GPT that we haven't released yet, around strategic planning, right? So it's a GPT. It's more of a GPT. I want to go back because Dora said she was the only one who was a GPT. So ChatGPT is ChatGPT. It's LLM, large learning model, right? And so you can create your own GPTs within a GPT. I created a GPT for the strategic planning. So GPTs can be used individually. You can use them. She's also an agent, and you can use them for specific tasks. Strategic Brilliance Lab started out as a GPT, and then it became its own platform. So again, there's so many different things you can do. But today we're just talking about agents. So as a leader, you need to answer these questions. You really need to answer these questions. Where do my executive team, how can my teams utilize agents better? And I want to go back to the consistency area. Where do we need more consistency? But also, as you utilize these tools, how do you create consistency within the organization? So, like I said, many of you are already using these models, but there's no consistency within the organization of how they should be used. So that's another thing to consider as well. So you have probably heard a lot about ethical AI. What I want you to know that as long as humans are involved in making the right decision, inspect what you expect, okay? Push back on the model, ideate with the model, but give it a little pushback, you can do that when the model or the agent has been trained. You're not just using kind of out of the box, because people's like, oh my God, you're using out of the box. This is going to tell you you're great, you're wonderful, you're perfect. This is great. You should run with this. You could call it that. And you're like, that's not where right? So, this is a safe delegation framework. I use this framework when I go and I talk to groups about AI. I think I also needed this slide a few weeks ago when I was having that conversation. But these are the things that humans must always do, right? So as you look at it, you start thinking about, how do I delegate tasks within my within AI? How These are things that thank you, Royal. These are things that the AI must never do. Humans must own these things. And so make sure that as you go back and you answer those 5 questions that we talked about as a leader, that you are also thinking about ethical AI as well, building that consistent capacity within your organizations for the use of AI. Okay, for the use of AI. Wow, we've talked about, I've talked a lot. I've talked a lot. Had a whole session by myself, and now I'm doing it again with people. And I appreciate you for showing up and coming back, watching the replay. If you're watching this as the replay, type replay wherever you're watching it. And if you are watching it live, I thank you for being here. So what does all of this mean for your organization, right? It's going to expand your capacity. You'll be able to do more. You don't want to burn out, right? So, and many of you are probably already burned out. And so as you really take the time, find the time that you don't have, find the time to create more time. It's going to be worth it. Reduce the repetitive work that you're already doing. You're going to free up some human bandwidth. It's going to strengthen communication. And I oftentimes say that we want to make sure that we're utilizing models and things that are relevant for today. One of the jokes that I have when I go into companies and I hear them say, you know, well, I've been here since they laid the first brick, or I've been doing this for 20, 30 years. And I'm like, I do not want to hear from you, because you did it once in 1985 and you're still doing it, and it's not relevant. It's probably not relevant. And so that's where critical thinking comes in, right? That's where using the different critical thinking models to come up to support why we're doing what we're doing, and then you use them in tandem with your AI tools. And then it should improve follow through. You know, structure agents close the gap between good intentions and actual delivery. And so I know some people that, you know, I'm working on my AI agents security certification. And so I know there are so many people who have all these great ideas locked in their GPT, and they never move toward implementation. And so you want to close that gap as much as possible. So when AI agents are deployed with structure and good intention, the organizational impact goes way beyond productivity and efficiency. Leaders can show up with more presence, more preparation, and more consistency. So you can go to sleep. You're not up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get all your ideas together. You can sleep at night, right? You can sleep at night because the agents are going to help you in however way you create them to support you in your work. So the future, the future belongs to leaders who know how to lead with AI, not just use it. Many of you, like I think I said it already. If not, I might have said it when I was doing the session with myself. I'm going to be laughing about that all day. I just want you to know that. Many of you using AI like it's Google, right? And it's not. Even Google has AI built into it now, right? But if you want the best output, then you've got to create the best prompts. If you want the best support, then you have to design a trained agent. I'm gonna say that again because that was real good. I didn't say that last time. If you want the best support, if you want the best output, you've got to design a better prompt, right? A stronger prompt, a very clear and specific prompt with all the pieces. I'm doing a class next week with a nonprofit, and we're going to talk about how to utilize AI within some of the work that they do. And prompting is a big piece of that. If you want better support, you've got to have a trained agent. You've got to have that agent trained to where they know you, they know your voice. Okay. Let me see. Was I going to say something else about? Yes, I want to say this. Using AI is a skill. Leading with AI is discipline. It's discipline. It requires intention, discernment, follow through, ethical clarity, and wisdom to know the difference between what should be delegated and what should not. So what are your next steps? We've talked about a lot. I've shown you a lot. You see how agents can operate within your organization. So you're probably thinking, oh my God, what are my next steps, Dr. Tanya? Well, don't worry. I'm not going to just close the screen and end the conversation here. So your next steps are answering those questions that I gave you, really sitting down, thinking about, is it time for us to start integrating agents in the work that we do? You can book an AI capacity strategy call. You can attend the next AI pop-up workshop, which takes people from confusion to clarity. Come confused, leave clear. I don't know. It's an AI pop-up workshop that we offer. And so you can schedule that to just really get the basics. It's the basics of information where you leave with a graphic, a prompt, and a task agent. Everyone should go and do their 7-day trial of Strategic Brilliance Lab. And if you say, wow, we need this, strategicbrilliancelab.com, and you say, wow, we need this in our organization, then you can do a subscription. And if you're interested in exploring building your own AI agents, we are here to help you do that as well. So I want you to imagine your organization with agents in it, right? The model is transferable. The framework is adaptable. The team that I've designed for myself, this is what my team looks like in my head, right? So what changes for you is how we would train your agents, their names, their roles, their specific workflows would change. They will be built around your voice and your context and your mission and what you would have them to do. So keep that in mind. Imagine this inside your organization, within your team. How do we make this happen? What does that look like? As I work with companies and I'm thinking, wow, I need that type of agent on my team. I need a bookkeeping agent. I need this type of agent or that type of agent. And so, so that's what it would look like within your organization. So my final question to you is, what would you delegate first if you had a trained AI team? You had a trained AI team. What would you delegate first? What type of agent would you create to support you in the work that you do? So I want you to think about that. So many things to think about as we end this session. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for listening to this content. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you follow or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go back and watch some of the other forums that we have. If you're watching on LinkedIn and you're not in my ecosystem, make sure that you connect. And wherever you're listening to this session, just drop me a message and we can jump on a call and talk through some of your ideas. You'll get me, you won't get my avatar, or you'll get a human on my team, right? So let's see, I'm gonna come over to the chat. I can only see the LinkedIn chat. I can't see anything else. But again, if you have any questions, reach out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being involved in what we're doing in AI, and we would love to support you. So stay tuned for the next executive forum. Until next time.